It began like any other morning, routine, predictable, until I noticed the envelope sitting squarely on the kitchen counter. My name was written across it in his unmistakable handwriting. At first, I assumed it was just a quick note. Maybe he had left early for work, or perhaps gone to visit his mother. But the moment I picked it up, a knot twisted deep in my stomach. Something felt off. Very off. The air in the house was unnaturally still, and the silence didn't feel peaceful, it felt loud. There were no shoes by the door. The bed hadn't been made. Small signs, but together they screamed that something was wrong. The envelope trembled slightly in my hands as I held it. My chest tightened with a strange sense of finality, like the eerie stillness just before a thunderstorm breaks. I opened it slowly, almost afraid of what I'd find. My fingers shook as I unfolded the page. Just 2 words stared back at me from the top. Goodbye, Emma. The rest of the letter poured out like a quiet confession, except it wasn't his. It was mine, written in his voice. Every word was deliberate, steady, calm. He said he had known for some time. Since that night I came home smelling like someone else's cologne. The night I said I'd been working late. He had known then. The phone calls I took in another room. The sudden showers. The so-called girls' nights that were never what I claimed. He had seen through all of it. What shattered me wasn't that he figured it out, it was that he never said a word. He waited, silently, hoping I'd come forward on my own. Waiting for me to be honest. But I never was. He wrote that I had slowly turned into someone unfamiliar. Someone he could no longer reach. Day by day, it chipped away at him until there was nothing left, just emptiness. And yet, he didn't say he hated me. That was the part that hurt the most. There was no anger in his letter. No shouting. No blame. Only calm sorrow. He wrote that he loved me enough to let me go, because staying would have destroyed us both. And in that moment, it hit me. I had already done the damage. The destruction was complete. I was just the last to admit it. I collapsed to the floor, the letter trembling in my hands, tears spilling faster than I could wipe them away. It wasn't just guilt, it was the raw, unbearable realization of what I had done. I had thrown away something solid, something real, for a brief thrill that meant nothing in the end. The man I betrayed wasn't just my husband. He was the one who quietly did my laundry when I forgot. Who rubbed my back when anxiety kept me awake. Who remembered exactly how I liked my coffee and kissed my forehead every night before bed. I used to think he wasn't paying attention. But he noticed everything. Silently. Carefully. Lovingly. And I took all of it for granted. I tried to reach him. I called, but his phone was off. I texted. Emailed. I even drove to his office, only to find out he had taken an indefinite leave. That's when I truly understood. This wasn't a rash decision. He had planned it carefully, not out of revenge, but because he was broken. He needed space. Not just from me, but from the life we had built together. The days that followed blurred together. I replayed every moment I had dismissed, every quiet sign I ignored. The nights when he lingered in the doorway, silently watching me. The dinners where he waited for conversation that never came. The mornings when he asked, "Are you okay?" And I lied with a practiced smile. Part of me clung to hope. Maybe he'd return. Maybe we could talk. Maybe something could be salvaged. But days turned to weeks. Weeks stretched into months. And eventually, I heard from friends that he had moved to a smaller town, started fresh. He never badmouthed me. He simply said things hadn't worked out, and left it at that. Eventually, I wrote him back. Not to make excuses. Not to explain. Just to say the one thing I should have said when it mattered. I was wrong. I loved you. And I destroyed something beautiful because I didn't know how to handle real love. He never replied. I never expected him to. He had already said goodbye. I still have the letter. It's folded neatly, tucked away in a drawer I rarely open. But it's there. A quiet reminder of what real love looks like. Patient, gentle, and quietly observant. A kind of love I only understood when it was already gone.